Hi, this is Des Bott. I'm with the Nerd Element. I'm talking to director Kitamura from Godzilla Final Wars, which is having its 20th anniversary this year. How are you doing, director?
I'm doing good.
Your panel was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about most of my questions you actually already answered. So I'm going to try to ask a couple other ones about the movie and then some of your other work.
Okay.
First of all, a friend of mine and I were curious. How did Sum 41, the band, get such a big role? Because they were credited in Godzilla Final Wars for the fight with Zilla.
What was it?
The band Sum 41.
Oh, Sum 41, yes. That was suggested from the music producer, advisor from Toho. And I was already a fan of Sum 41, and she said that they're a big fan of Godzilla and they want to get involved. So I said, like, that's cool. And that song, "We're All to Blame," that's what they sent me, and I immediately loved it. And the best place to fit was that background of the Godzilla versus Zilla.
You mentioned in the panel that was your idea to have that fight so short. Why did you come up with that idea?
Well, Toho told me that they have the rights for that, the Hollywood Godzilla. So I mean, like, why not? I mean, I knew that that's what the fans all over the world wanted to see. So. And now I just did it for pure fun, no disrespect. But I was like, hey, come on, Japanese Godzilla versus Hollywood Godzilla. Okay, I mean it's gonna be very one-punch knockout, and that's what I did.
100%.
I'm curious about Captain
Gordon.
by Don's wife. Was he supposed to be kind of like a parody of American machismo, or is he just rough dude that's reading the Gotengo?
Yeah, I didn't try to do any parody. I just wanted to have this, the very Western-ish, tough American hero character. Because, the whole Operation Final War is crazy, if you see the movie. Okay, so you're going to fight, this alien, and you're going to go all the way and to wake up the Godzilla up and let the Godzilla handle all those monsters, and while you're dealing with the alien. So that's a crazy plan, right? So I really needed somebody very strong and crazy enough to drive that crazy idea all the way, carry that idea all the way through the movie. So that's how the Captain Gordon character created, and I think I can't think anybody else played that role like Don Fry.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I loved it. I love that. It's one of my favorite Godzilla movies because it has everything. It has aliens. The Zillions come back. It's got mutants. It's got wire martial arts. It's got a lot of stuff going for, and all the monsters, of course. And Godzilla just being really pissed off. Okay, I want to also ask you about the Midnight Meat Train, because I'm a huge Clive Barker fan. How did you get involved with that?
That was very funny. I was here for Comic-Con 2006 to do the premiere for my Japanese movie called Azumi, which is a samurai movie. And at the party, I met the great Samuel L. Jackson, and I found out that he was a huge fan of me. And we started talking for a couple hours, and at the end of the party, he said, hey, you have to come to Hollywood, and you have to start making a movie here. And he introduced me to his manager, who became my manager, my first manager in America. And the first meeting she set up was Midnight Meat Train. It wasn't really the meeting of the Midnight Meat Train, but it was the meeting with the producer for this company called Lakeshore Entertainment, and we started talking about a lot of things. And at the end of the conversation, the producer said, Gary Lucchese said, I really like you. We have to do something, and I think this is perfect for you. And he, gave me the script of Midnight Meat Train. And when I saw the title, I pushed it back. I said, no. You're talking about Books of Blood, Clive Barker, Midnight Meat Train, right? And yes, no, I don't want to do it, and I don't want you to do it. And I told him that, you stupid Hollywood, stop making this remake or based on the amazing book. No, don't do it. Then he laughed and said, we've been working closely with Clive Barker himself, so just at least just take a script, and come back in 2 days, and if you hate it, we're going to find something else. And So I didn't want it, but I took the script back to my hotel and I read it, and Jeff Bueller did an amazing job, and the script had the potential. So I went back there 2 days later and I said, this script still needs some work, but it has a potential. I think I can make it, and that's how I got it.
And now you've worked with Bradley Cooper, who became a huge star after. He was on the rise when you got to work with him. What was that like?
It was amazing. I have nothing but love and respect for Bradley Cooper. He's not only an amazing actor, he's a beautiful human being. And yeah, I mean, we're still good friends. We text over here and there, and I knew he's going to go all the way to the top, but I couldn't, predict that. Oh my God, you are now an amazing director and the producer. I mean, he's amazing.
And multiple Oscar nominees.
Yep. Bradley Cooper is the best.
I also wanted to ask you about what was it like after Versus broke you through? How did that make you feel having that level of success?
Versus. Because before Versus, I was nobody, no money, no future guy. I owe a lot of people a lot of money to do that movie, and everybody somehow believed in me. With the guy, just crazy guy who just said that this is the movie going to change my career, and I'm going to go to Hollywood. But a lot of people believed in me and invested in me, and which I still appreciate. And that is the movie. There is a movie that changed my life. And it was like almost like a one last perfect spot for the Othello. It's flipped everything, and suddenly there was a wide open road in front of me. Until that movie, I was at the close to the edge. I was almost like about to give up. But I'm glad that I didn't, and I made that movie because there was no producer, no studio, no distributor, no professional, nothing. It's just a bunch of us amateurs in the woods, determined to do it. So everybody told me that I was crazy because I ended up shot like 4,600 setups.
Wow.
On the silent Super 16. And everybody was like, and halfway like, hey boss, you shot enough. I think you can edit. And I said, no, I'm not done until because this is my one last chance to break through. If I can't with this one, I have to give it up. So I have to just finish it. The way I want to finish it, and I didn't give up, and I kept on asking a lot of people a lot of money, and I'm glad I did. That movie really changed my life.
So you've had a great career since then. You've got I'm sorry, I have to read them off. Lupin 3 live action film, which is a beloved manga, beloved anime, and then Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. You've had a really varied career because you've done that live action, the anime, horror, Godzilla. What's your favorite genre to work in, or do you have a favorite?
No, I'm happy to do as long as there's a good story, good franchise to work with. I'm very happy. Doesn't really matter if it's a video game or anime or live action. Yes, my live action is my thing, but I don't really care about as long as there's a character and story to tell. And because movie making it's a hard work. You have to, especially when you're a director, you have to be there from the beginning to all the way to the end, right? To beginning meaning like when you're working on the idea, working on the script, then you have to find the money somehow, studio somehow, and the cast. Then after the shooting, you have to edit and post-production, and then you have to promote the movie. So it's like long. You have to dedicate like 2 years, 3 years of your life. So I don't want to do that unless I really love the projects, and that's why I'm very proud of all my movies, because there was not a single movie that I did it for the money or the job. Every single project I was in love with it, and I was ready to sacrifice myself for a couple of years. So I don't mind. I might be doing some nice romantic love story.
So Godzilla and Kong?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So I know you have a new one coming out that you're working on called Thrill Ride. Is there anything you can tease for us about it?
Yeah, it's Speed meets Jigsaw on a roller coaster. So Yeah,
How's that
it's
gonna
a roller
work?
coaster ride. And again, why I loved about the project is, I can't really think of it, but there's not many roller coaster movies. Yes, there was a movie called The Roller Coaster, and there was a sequence, great sequence in the Final Destination, but there's no really roller coaster movie out there. That's the challenge for me, and I really like to, I'm the kind of the director who likes to take the challenge. I don't want to repeat myself doing the same thing again and again. So I'm very excited, and I should start prepping soon.
When, so maybe 2-3 years you think will come out, or
No,
sooner?
it should be. Yeah, it should be coming out sometime next year, I think. Yeah, because we are almost, ready to start pre-production in UK.
And then my last question for you, because I know you're busy today. What is one question that you would like to be asked that no one's ever asked you?
That's the hard question. That's a very good question. Because especially for the Godzilla Final Wars, within this last 20 years, I've answered all kinds of questions all over the world. So every time I'm asked a question, I feel like, just Google and read. Somebody asked that question 15 years ago, 12 years ago, 7 years ago, last month. So I don't know. 20 years ago, to be very honest, I don't really remember that much about when I was making the movie. Because I've done so many movies, and every movie is like, I just dive into it and I give everything 100% of myself. And after that, I have to dive into another one. So I don't really remember that detail. So, the best question I want Godzilla fans to ask me is that, I don't know, at least just read all the Godzilla interviews of me and come up with something that I never answered.
I tried really hard, and I was like, nope, he answered all my questions during the panel, so I'm just going to have to pivot. But that's what we do as press, and you're used to it also as interviews. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you, Dr. Kitamura. From Godzilla Final Wars, the 20th anniversary of the film, it's 70th anniversary of Godzilla, which is amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.